Hello, welcome back to another market update for Kitsap County. It is the end of November right now, and so this market update is what happened in October. And this is coming out in the latter half of November because the numbers aren't actually finalized until about November 15th, or at least the 15th of each month. So any information that we get beforehand is preliminary for the previous month. So going to get right into this one. As you can see here, this current graph is showing for sale, sold, and new listings. And at the end of October, Kitsap County had 478 uh, houses that were up for sale at the end of the month. And we had sold 274. So this is going to show an increase in inventory, more or less. Um, and then this one here, we did have 274 uh, new listings on the market. So I think about a net gain of about 10, 11 listings throughout for the month of October, um, leaving it at 478 uh, that were up for sale. So going to move on to the next one. Average price per square foot, and the usual caveat for this one is that houses that have land attached to them or are down by the like waterfront properties and stuff like that, things that would normally be a high value property is not as is going to kind of skew these numbers because you're going to be getting more than just like the square footage of the house. But so this is just kind of like your general average. We're looking at 288 per square foot, $288 per square foot. Now, um, well, to contrast that, why don't we go ahead and go over to, we're going to compare it with King County. Let's see, where are you, King County? There you are. Now, King County is a little bit higher at $509 per square foot. Um, which is still, it had a low. Some of the cheaper houses were selling in December of last year, which is kind of kind of standard, pretty pretty usual stuff. Let's compare those a little bit better. So Kitsap 312, King County 509. So that's a pretty good jump. That's what, 2/3 more. It's almost a full 100%. So yes, yes, if you are if you're moving from King County coming over here into Kitsap, you're going to have a much like whatever house you sell is likely to sell higher than than what you would get over here for, like, when you would purchase a house over here. So you'll end up with a few extra bucks in your pocket most likely, um, unless you do want that waterfront property. But either way, you're still getting more better quality house for your dollar. Um, okay, back to Kitsap. But yeah, you can see the kind of the price difference between the two counties. Uh, why don't we go ahead and we're going to go over to days on market. Um, right now our average cumulative days on market is 38. Uh, Typical house will sell in about 38 days. And you can see this is starting to rise up, which is normal for winter time. Less people are moving. Less people want to move during the winter months. You know, coming into uh, November, December. So I expect this trend to probably go up. Uh, and can compare that with same thing with King County. Uh, can take almost about 2 months, but they're still riding underneath a month. Let's go ahead and go back to exclude Bainbridge Island. The reason why I will usually exclude Bainbridge Island is because um, island properties are always you're always going to get more for your money on that one. So, and it's not really an appropriate indication for the remainder of Kitsap County. All right, moving right along. Uh, so this is the average price for sale. It's actually I like to look at the median price sold. Now, what the median does is it takes not necessarily the average. If you if you have 100 houses that sold uh, for the time period, you know, say you take 100 houses, what it does is it takes the, I guess in this case, the split price between house number 50 and house number 51, or house number 49 and house number 50. So wherever that price point sits, is that's what you're looking at. And what that does is it keeps the uh, the outer edges, you know, the edges of the bell curve, the stuff that's like goes dirt cheap, because they're like um, dilapidated houses, or would basically be like an investor property uh, on the low end. And then on the high end, you know, you would have the multi-million dollar houses, $2 million houses, waterfront properties, stuff that's going to be going far higher than what your typical consumer would be looking for. So what this number is looking at, it's basically, you know, not the average, but pretty much the middle of the road. Um, it's slightly calculated differently, and it just helps prevent um, outlier properties from skewing it too much. So the average price, or the median price here in Kitsap County, and most of these are going to be around like your Silverdale area, Port Orchard, Bremerton, that kind of stuff. You could expect around 533,000 for a house currently at this current market. And what the heck, we'll go over and take a look and see what's going on over in King County. So in King County, they're still looking pretty high up. So we were at 533 over here in Kitsap. If you're in King County, your median home price over there is going to be like 895, pretty close to 900,000. So that's well into jumbo territory for your basic run of the mill house. Because I think jumbo loans, which jumbo loans will have higher requirements. You know, you need a larger down payment, you need a higher credit score, and a better like debt to income ratio and all this stuff. Your entire metrics need to be higher to go into jumbo loan territory. So even just getting a basic house over in King County is going to it's going to be much more costly for you. That's for certain. But you know, likewise, if you do live in King County and you're thinking of coming over here and living kind of a slower life in Peninsula, you can sell your house over there and you can get a lot more for what you're paying. Uh, you can get a lot more over here for what you're paying for over there. All right, we're going to show months of inventory. So what we're looking at is we've come up to about 2 months, 1.8, almost 2 months, which is getting healthier as far as like inventory goes. This is and as a reminder, months of inventory would mean that at the current rate, if we had no new houses on the market, how long it would take to the the existing inventory. And as agents, we like to see about 3 months, but we don't have any real control over the market. So we're sitting at about 1.8, so just under 2 months of inventory. So that's kind of where we're at over here in Kitsap County, and comparison with King County, because we always like to have our little friendly rivalry over from the people across the water, the residents across the water. So next, I'm going to go into the current prime rate, or the current rates. What you'd kind of be looking at to for picking up a loan. And I found this little article here, this explanation article from Bankrate. And so if you're wondering, the Fed discount rate, that is the rate that they will lend to, that the Fed lends to banks. Just take a quick interest rate at which eligible financial institutions may borrow directly from the Federal Reserve Bank. Banks whose reserves dip below the reserve requirement set up by the Fed's Reserve Board of Governors use the money to correct the shortages. So it's basically just to keep the minimum amount that they're required. But the big one, and then Fed fund rate is what banks are allowed to charge each other when they need to borrow a short-term loan from another bank. What we're concerned with here, this is the Wall Street Journal prime rate, and at 8.5 is basically what you would really be kind of looking at for a loan for a mortgage. So the journal surveys 30 largest banks, and when 3/4 of them, 23, change, the journal changes its rate, effective on the day the journal publishes a new rate. Its most widely quoted measure of the prime rate, which is the rate at which banks will lend money to their most favored customers. So that means that you're probably pushing 740, 760 or something like that for your credit rate with a good credit history. The prime rate will move up or down in lockstep with Fed changes by the Federal Reserve Board. This prime rate is an important index used by banks to set rates on many consumer loan products, such as credit cards or auto loans. If you see that the prime rate has gone up, your variable credit card rate will soon follow. So that is important, to have a fixed rate as opposed to an adjustable rate, because that will protect you from your interest rates from going up at the whims of the Federal Reserve. Alrighty, so we've had enough of that. So next, speaking of rates. All right, now this is just an example. When you do need to go and get shop around for a loan, various lending institutions will have a variety of products to go out, to offer people to make them more attractive than other lenders. And with lending being the internet available for basically shopping around, it does get pretty competitive. Now this flyer is from Tracy Bell. She's our senior loan officer out of our office. Priority Home Lending is the is a partnership between Cornerstone and John L. Scott. So they use basically all of Cornerstone's products, lending products, and their underwriters and all that other stuff. But and this is just an example. There's a large number of lenders out there, and uh, be sure to shop around to see who's going to give you the best product. Because they're a lot of times they're more than just rates. So what we're seeing a lot is lenders getting people in with like a starter rate, where like in this case, this rate buster, Cornerstone is offering to basically cover the cost of that first percent. The rate buster is a lender paid 1 year temporary buy down program that reduces the borrower's interest rates by 1%. um, Now these numbers are going to be out of date because this was actually just a couple months ago, so you can see that the rate is no longer 7.25. So this is just an example, but it will lower your monthly payment, and then after that first year, you'll be covering the rest of it, and or hopefully the Federal Open Market Committee has decided that the consumer has had enough pain, and they're going to they cut rates down. So yeah, shop around, and also there are some companies who are actually just brokerages where they'll do the shopping for you to find you the best product for your situation. And I do have a couple of lender friends who are at those. So if you are interested in looking for a loan, if you do need a mortgage, I can most certainly hook you up with a few people, and you can go talk with them. Okay, and so almost finished. I've got my new Good to Be Home is about to be published. This is issue 18. And what we have in here, this QR code goes to my YouTube channel, which is this channel, a cooking channel primarily. But once a month, I'm trying to put out these like something actually real estate related, and promoting these. So we've got recipes. I cook these recipes, maybe not necessarily all of them, but I do. That's what Cooking Kitchens is all about, is cooking these and many more recipes, more than just what you find in here. So we've got articles that we have DIY home warming solutions. There's one of the recipes. Household management, building real estate wealth for anybody who's kind of been interested in collecting real estate. There's an article in here on various ways to do it, and there's a lot of programs that are coming out that give you various ways. I think there's one. I think it was called Lander or something like that, where you can basically do purchase shares in rentals, and so you would, depending upon how much you put into the rental, how much funding you put into it, you get a percentage of that rent money back. It's kind of pretty interesting. They don't have any houses over here. It's pretty much all in like the southeast and like Georgia and Florida and stuff like that. But that they accept it from anywhere. I did try to see if I could talk them into purchasing stuff up here, but they didn't have any interest. So move on. Must have cleaning hacks of cleaning stuff, decor, home improvement, some food, fresh start. Then you get landscaping, seasonal. So just going to kind of do a quick scroll down here. What is this? Tackling gifts. Because yes, Christmas is coming up, so 'tis the season for gifting. Renovations. After getting discovered by Magnolia Network founders Chip and Joanna Gaines, married couple Brooke and Bryce Gilliam launched their own home renovation show, A Modern Home. It's good stuff. If anybody's needs to be doing any sort of renovations, purchasing your perfect sofa. We had our we had ours custom made. Lazy Boy does. We'll cut. You can have Lazy Boy custom make a sofa for you. I don't think it was too much more expensive, that you could go in and get the stuff off their showroom floor, or you can talk to them and have it custom made. However, you're probably looking at like a 6 month wait. That's how long ours was, but no regrets on that one. It was worth it, every penny on that one. Impactful ways to support unhoused people, the homeless, in other words. So yeah, we've got some articles about that. Veterans, homeless veterans, and stuff. Fresh starts. It's new year, new you type of thing. Everybody's got their New Year's resolutions, and I pray that whoever does start it can stick with it, because that is the hardest thing, to not fall back in your old routines. Um, what I will say is, if you have somebody like a coach, if you're going to try something, try to get back on whatever bandwagon. If you can afford a coach, go with it, because they're going to help you stay on that bandwagon, to build in those healthy, repetitive routine habits that will keep you going in for the long haul, and a worthwhile investment. Ooh, caramelized fennel and white bean salad. Shaved pears and shaved pears and chocolate. I'm sitting here talking about maintaining good habits. I've got this delicious, delicious dessert here. Um, a guide to building wealth with real estate. It's going to be a great, interesting article. Good read. Landscaping, for those of you who have got um, have got some yard work that you've been tending to do. Um, a magical muralist. I suppose if you want to get your place painted up like a modern, like a modern art, go right ahead. Not necessarily my cup of tea, but it's probably worth a good read. Vases, and then a couple more recipes, and that's it. So yeah, this is a free magazine. I will send it out to you at absolutely no cost. It comes out every 3 months, 4 times a year, and it's always got some good stuff in it. So yeah, hit me up. Usual, if you like it, subscribe, and also, throw in a comment every now and then, would you? Appreciate it, and I hope to hear from you again later. Take care and have a great Christmas.